Salut à tous, my name is Marion Buricatu. I am a French artist and I lived here in the United States since 2001. This video is about art and how to impress your friends and family at the museum with 3 easy facts. Why is the invention of the paint tube so interesting? Well, merci for asking this amazing question. And the answer is very simple. It's because this is a technological innovation that changed the art world. Here are the 3 facts I'm going to talk to you about. Fact number 1, before it was a messy process. Fact number 2, it was invented by an American in 1841. And fact number 3, en plein air. Here is a picture of the history of the artist color tube. And notice the syringe before the paint tubes on the picture. Okay, fact number 1, before a messy process. What happened is that when they didn't have the paint tube, they had to mix their colors every time. So it was messy, it was time consuming, and the oil paint would be very quick to dry out. So for example, they would have apprentices, the painters would have apprentices that would grind the pigment with linseed oil, as you can see on the picture. So because of that, when they would paint, they would have to fill one area of canvas at a time. Like for example, they would have to paint all the red, and then they would have to paint all the blue. We don't paint like that anymore. We move from one color to another. We just have to be careful that our brushes are not too dirty, but we have no problem having all our color on our palette. So also, we couldn't paint outside. There was no way they could paint outside because the oil paint was just too liquid, so they would always paint in the studio. And if you were an adventurous painter and you really wanted to go outside, what you would do is that you would put your oil paint in pig bladders, and they were perforated and closed with a string. Obviously, they would burst often, very frequently. It was a very messy process. Fact number 2. It was invented by an American in 1841. His name was John Gough Rand, and he was living in London. So the metal paint tube was made of tin, T-I-N. It was sealed with a screw cap and it gave paint a long shelf life. It didn't leak and it could be repeatedly open and close. It sounds so obvious nowadays, but this was huge. The fact that you could close it and open it repeatedly was a big thing. It was a revolutionary invention because now you can go outside. But it took a long time for the French painter to accept this new invention because the problem is that it added extra cost to the paint. But in the meantime, there were some new colors, there were some new artificial pigments, and paints were cheaper. For example, French ultramarine artificial pigment was developed in 1830, and it was so much cheaper than the natural pigment lapis lazuli. So next time you go to the museum, imagine, look at the paintings that were made before the paint tube. They were working on one color at a time. It's a completely different way to approach how you're making your painting. Now, fact number 3, en plein air. So, the artist Pierre-Auguste Renoir is quoted as saying that without paint in tubes, there would have been nothing of what the journalists were later to call the Impressionists. Finally, they could escape the studio, they could go outside, and they could paint the effect of light as they would see it. And they could finish their painting on site. That also was a big new thing. Here is a painting called The Cliffs at Etretat by Claude Monet, painted in 1885, and this painting is at the Clark Institute in Williamstown, Massachusetts. Camille Pissarro, who is called the father of the Impressionism, also said, don't paint bit by bit, but paint everything at once by placing tones everywhere, working all over the canvas simultaneously. Again, it's about working with all your colors. Suddenly they have the freedom to paint with all the colors at the same time. And here is a painting by Camille Pissarro, Landscape at St. Charles, painted in 1891. And this painting is also at the Clark Institute in Williamstown, Massachusetts. Well, so here are the 3 facts easy to remember about the invention of the paint tube. Fact number 1, before a messy process. Fact number 2, invented by an American in 1841. And fact number 3, en plein air. Now, if you want to impress even more your friends and family at the museum or just have fun at your next dinner table, the next video is just for you because I have created 7 trivia questions. Also, if you want to learn more about this amazing invention, check out the link below. Nice chatting with you. Abonne-toi, which means subscribe to my channel. Have fun and see you at the next video.